All right, let's move to the Sunday night late game. Vikings, Seahawks, and the Seahawks just keep rolling. Seahawks opened up at -7.5 at plus 100. They're now at 7. There is a couple books hanging 7.5 at big plus lines, plus 113, plus 110. This total opened up at 58, is now at 57.5. Dalvin Cook, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns versus the Vikes. They beat Houston for the Vikes. They beat Houston 31-23. Cousins goes for 260 yards and a TD. Thielen, 8 receptions for 114 yards. Justin Jefferson, 4 catches for 103 yards. Second straight 100-yard game. Helping you forget about Stephon Diggs if you're a Vikings fan. Mike Hughes and Chris Boyd, cornerbacks, are questionable. Seahawks coming off that 31-23 win at Miami. Wilson for 360 yards, 2 touchdowns. 24 of 34. He ties Peyton Manning for 16 touchdown passes in his first 4 games. They've scored 30 or more points in 4 consecutive games. DK Metcalf, 4 catches for 106 yards, more 3 for 95. Chris Carson back, looking good. There was a lot of concern over that knee injury. 80 yards for the pair of touchdowns. They do have injuries on defense. Real injuries that are so that I was shocked that Fitzy couldn't take more advantage of. Cornerbacks Nico Thorpe and Quentin Dunbar are questionable. Safeties Lano Hill and Jamal Adams are as well. Jordan Brooks, linebacker, out. Carlos Hyde, questionable. Vikings, Seahawks, Bebsy, take it away.
Am I crazy to want to fade the Seahawks here? Like, it just feels like it's a fair amount of points for a team that has obviously for the last 2 weeks been able to put up numbers, and Seattle has not yet once shown me their defense can stop anything. So I wonder if you can get Minnesota to keep pace and have a backdoor cover here. There's no question mark about Seattle's offense. They're fantastic. Russ is fantastic. They were worried about injuries to the O-line and Carson last week. Carson played. The O-line held up. Doesn't matter. It's Russ. They're going to put up points. It's just the fact that this Seattle defense is atrocious. So I wonder if you can't get a little bit of a sneaky backdoor cover from Minnesota here. And Minnesota's defense is also terrible. So the over is still very much in play despite how high it is, especially in prime time. I like it, but I don't know. Am I crazy? Talk me in or out of this.
Scott John says, take Mini with the points, ride him. I like the look here. I think this look makes sense, but I thought that Seattle showed a ton of character what they did in Miami this past week. And I'm hesitant to go right back to the well and fade them again. But it just seems like this is Minnesota or no play. Sorry, what's up, Bibbs?
Well, it's just that you faded them against a team that doesn't put up points like Minnesota has in the last couple of weeks. Like, Minnesota's had weapons and they really struggled out the gate, but 2 weeks in a row they've been riding Cook, which is really what they have to do. Much like the Browns and much like the Colts, they have to ride their running game and then let Cousins, be smart about it. So it just feels like Minnesota is a nice play here.
I think Leonard Welch nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. What about the Vikings team total over at 23.5? Now, it's heavily juiced to the over right now, bet 365. I do not want to sit here with minus 138s, but there's a reason to me that this is heavily juiced to the over.
Okay, but are you suggesting taking that over?
Yes.
Well, if you're suggesting taking that the Vikings team total over, then you have to take the game total over, because if they're scoring 28.5, then you have to figure it's an easy cover for the team total over, because Seattle's probably going to win this game.
Seattle's team total is at 33.5.
Yes, but so what I'm saying is if you're going to take the Vikings, if you want to bet the Vikings at 28.5.
23.5.
Oh, 23. I thought you said 28.
No.
That's a little bit different.
So 23.5?
I still think you can get to 60 points in this game.
I'll be right in there.
Yeah. 23.5? That sounds.
This is a bad Seattle defense. They're awful. And as soon as they come up against a balanced team, I think they come back down to earth a bit. I still think Seattle's very good this year and better than a lot of people expected, mainly because that offense is firing on all cylinders. But wait till they come up against a balanced team before we start anointing them, champions.
23.5 is just so gettable. This Vikings offense is pretty good. I know it looked bad early, but now that Justin Jefferson is rolling, Cousins getting a little bit of confidence. We know what Thielen does. We know what Dalvin Cook does.
Well, this is an offense that has to run through Dalvin Cook, and he's been sensational 2 weeks ago, or 2 weeks in a row. I said he's not going to hit 181 again, and he didn't, but he still had an incredible performance.
How did the Vikings not get to 24 against the Seahawks defense? Come on. That's crazy. Am I wrong here to think that's nuts?
I do like the way you're leaning on this. It's hard. It's hard not to think they can do that, especially because they're probably going to be chasing. Seattle's going to score in their first possession and probably their second possession.
I don't have to do anything else. I don't need to bother taking the Vikings to cover.
No, this is a sexy little team total over here.
Dennis says if Seattle gets their defenders back, no chance of wanting to take any part.
What defenders, though? They're missing. Jamal Adams is the only playmaker they're missing.
Yeah, Jamal Adams is the only.
And Jamal Adams, for as great as he is, he's not worth 2 first-round picks. He is their best rusher, and he is a heck of a player. But
yeah, he's a great player.
He's not a guy who can totally change the game. If he was, the Jets would have been better. The Jets wouldn't have let him out the door.
Yeah. Dan Kelly saying if the line is 7 and the total is 57.5, the implied team total is 25.5. Some talk of Al Survey coming in about the weather. Let me just grab it right now. 50% chance of rain. We know that changes drastically. The issue with this bet right now is that it's at minus 138. That sucks. But yeah, we have a 50% chance of precipitation, 11 mile per hour winds, showers. But if you start, then the showers are supposed to start at 1 o'clock. Well, you can't trust that. But it's supposed to be nice up until game time at this point. Yeah. How do you not take the 20? This is just too blatant. I'm going to take the Vikings team total over 23.5.
I'm going to join you on that, Jimmy. It just seems like too easy a play.
Now, the problem is the juice. Do you want to wait? Do you want to look? I wonder if I could. I need to pull up. See, because in Canada, it's tricky. These licensed American books we don't all get, but we get Bet365, which is hanging the 23.5 at minus 138. Is that juice too much for you?
I'm sorry. I'm just focusing on this weather talk. I don't know if we can make a play based on weather right now when it's too far out. The weather's going to change. Yeah, you got, northwestern United States that they get rain, but
Vikings 23.5 team total is it's crazy. And that's nuts.
It's too appealing considering just how many points the Seattle defense gives up.
Oh, my good God. This is crazy. The first half team total for the Vikings is 10.5. That's just I'm on that. I'm on both. 10.5 at minus 120. Are you kidding me? It's like I'm looking at okay, this is the first time, and I know that there's a reason why these books are rich, but that's just absolutely crazy. 10.5 better be a monsoon for me not to. The first half team total for the Seahawks 16.5. All right, I'm doubling up. Bebsy, you just won on the full game team total over?
Yeah, I want the full game team total over. And the only reason I'm chickening out here is because the last time you and I doubled up in one game, we got smacked in the mouth. And at least I want you to be right, or me to be wrong, or me to be right and you to be wrong on this. But I'm going to sit on one, and I'm happy that you're taking both.
I am taking both. This is just gorgeous to me. And there's no possible way this is available come Sunday. Not a hope, not a chance. Alrighty, I'm doubling up. So I'm on the full game and 10.5 against the Seahawks. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And Dan Kelly with a great comment says, when you talk weather, you should only consider wind. Rain helps the offense more than the defense when there's no wind. People forget that.